Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NeverOpenPod, the podcast open to everyone, especially Adrian Paul. Have I done that yet? My name is Luke. I'm your host of the NeverOpenPod, and with me, as always, is Mr. Guy. Say hello, Mr. Guy.
Hello, Mr. Guy. Hello, Luke, and hello to Darth Vader, which is what my voice sounds like today. But it's NeverRealm, man. So this is the 27th NeverRealm, and I think that it's like part of the culture, on this show that we have to mention Highlander at least every NeverRealm. So you already got that in. Good job.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And I just wanted to mention something interesting because I don't know if anyone's noticed, because why would anyone do both? But I'm betting there are a few differences here and there with the video version of the Never Open podcast and the audio version. Apart from the theme tune at the start, all that's fine. I don't do that. I just put all the video up there, but I don't make as many edits. So some of our silly things that you may save for the end of the year for a spectacular or something, like they're probably like smushed in there with a bad edit and like there you go. So I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but I've done enough of these that
I like that. So the point is that you get, the selling point of watching the vidges is you see how fucking stoned I look right now. And, basically there's like hidden, unseen shit that you're going to see with your eyes.
Yeah, that's it. Usually we only have to do edits because my internet will fucking
lately.
Yeah.
Used to be my internet that was shitty. We had a good run where both our internets were rocking and rolling. And, we switched recording systems too, and that's made it helpful. And I don't know.
Yeah. There's no robot. There's no Dalek voices anymore. So it's all good.
There is this weird thing that happens every once in a while. And I don't know if it's like my phone or your phone, but there's like this weird like buzzing sound that kind of happens out of nowhere, but it sounds like an artifact that could be on any recording. And it happens every once in a while at dramatic moments. And it's very hard to pick out, but it'll be like, you'll say something awesome and they'll hear this like real little thing. And it's like, yeah, the weird audio artifact agrees with you. I like it.
It's Doki on the ether just going, yeah.
He's the ghost in the machine.
Yeah. So I took your advice. Actually, I took the tone of Andy's I don't careness, and I also decided to take off Fantastic Mania.
Yeah.
It's nice to have little breaks. It really is, especially since it's not going to be too far that we're in a tournament season and shit. So,
yeah, I guess some fun stuff has happened. We didn't watch any of it. I hope it was great. I hope everybody enjoyed it. There was like a tag tournament, and all the wrestlers wore masks, and it was fun. And Hanma got to lose. Did you know that Rocky Romero and Volador Jr. wrestled on the show?
Look, I haven't seen much of that feud, but I want to see them wrestle each other less than I want to see Show and Yo wrestle each other at this point.
Apparently it was a really good main event, but I'm not watching it. Oh, it's probably good. Rocky Romero's matches are always good, especially his singles matches. But I mean, they've been feuding for years at this point, but not like, oh, they have a little feud that's going on in the background. No, it's like it's like a feud over a title, and it's been going on for years. Maybe that's how they
forever clothesline and forever feuds. Like,
yes.
Yeah, that's Rocky's MO.
That's fun.
But yeah, it's like, look, and the way I see it is, it's not as if 6 months from now, something that happened on one of these Fantastic Mania shows is going to pay off at at Dominion or something. It's like it's less important than World Tag League.
Yes. Yeah. And well, we'll see. World Tag League last year, man. That's not good. But there was
all that for a three-peat. Ugh.
So there is no New Japan news, I don't think. There's a rumor that Gabe Kidd is injured, which I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, are you trying to tell me that someone got injured in that cage match? It's like I'm shocked more people aren't injured than it's like, but he tweeted something about, hey, I'll be back soon or something like that. And it's like, didn't know you were gone, bro. I mean, you're not wearing a mask. You're not beating up luchadors. Although, man, how fun would Fantastica Mania be if the fucking War Dogs showed up and just started killing everybody?
Dude, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be something. What's the build up to this Nemeth feud?
Oh, beating up luchadors on Fantastica Mania.
But that would be, I don't know, that would be kind of cool. Would get me to fucking tune in and watch
I would go back
segment of Fantastica Mania. Like, I'd be like, oh shit, that happened? The fucking, the android interrupted Volador Jr. and Rocky Romero. Oh shit, I will work hard to get your name right if that shit happens. Like, Alex Cobb. The android, yes.
The android, yeah. I had a dream the other night. I've been having really vivid dreams lately for some reason. And I had this dream the other night that I turned on another podcast another like New Japan podcast, which I don't do. And I was like, and they kept calling Alex C the android exclusively. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I checked another one and they were doing it too. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I woke up and it was just a dream. That's what I dream
about. Oh my goodness. So, all right, dear listeners and Mr. Guy, I'm going to tell you guys a little something. All right. So I have started a course at a place called TAFE. Aussies will know what I'm talking about. In case you don't, it's a place called Technical and Further Education. And you do courses and stuff in various fields. Anyway, government's like, oi, we need people to work in here, and here. So free course. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with retail. I need to move in a different direction. It's the same. So I'm doing community services, and it's like I'm doing like this low on the pecking rung, and Charity's doing like a PhD in it. That's no, she literally is.
I know.
Yeah. So yeah, and so. I'm like, all right, cool. It starts on the 23rd. Here's this email. I'm like, yep, that's really cool. So last week on Thursday the 15th, I'm like, I better see what stuff do I need to bring? Like, I just want to have a reminder. So I look at my email. Oh, my first day started like 5 hours ago. And I've missed the first day. And I'm like, wait, what? How's that possible? How did I get where'd the number 23 come from? I don't know. So I ring them up. I explain everything. And the lady's really nice. She's like, oh, everyone's a bit loopy because of the fucked up weather we've been having here in Australia. I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely the weather. That's right. I was so worried about the thing where I couldn't use the internet and all that kind of stuff. I had to read a book. Anyway, anyway, I was like, I'm going to check my emails again. So I checked it. Lo and behold, I find it. I have two emails, one that said I started on the 15th and the other one that says I started on the 23rd. And yes, so my first day of my new course was technically my second day. So I just... I was that annoying guy that didn't turn up on the first day. So everyone who had to learn how to log in and all that, I had to learn all that.
Oh, no.
So I was like, I got the email. It's not my fault. But yes, at least I didn't pay for it. Yes, it's all good.
I mean, so what do you attribute that to? Is that kind of a symptom of ADHD that you missed that? Or is it that, is it something else? What do you think?
See, I thought it was because dates and numbers are probably the things I get the most ADHD mixed up over the most. I'm good with some things, and I like that you've arranged it so little reminders pop up on my phone about like these. But I'm good with I'm good with most things, but I did legit like get 2 emails, and I was confused, and I was like, "Well, would it be delayed?" Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, I mean, they tried to tell you. It's a shame, but now you're behind, so you got to catch up. Do you
That's
feel like
true.
you're caught up?
Yeah, pretty much. It was still kind of like overviewy slash. Here's how to do the logins and all that stuff. I probably just missed like here's the fire extinguisher and here's the exit,
Okay.
just in
Yeah.
case.
Did you have to introduce yourself? Hello, my name is Luke. I'm here to learn how to, serve the community better.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah, I did, and so like I did that. I don't get embarrassed with shit like that. It's fine.
Did you plug the podcast?
Oh, dude. So the teacher gave us this book, and I was like, notebook. I'm like, all right, fine. And we got to like journal what we think of the course as we go along. And I'm like, I don't fucking keep a diary or do journal.
Wrestler guy?
Anyway, I stuck a never sticker, open sticker on the fucking front of the bastard anyway. So
Yeah, that's right.
damn
Show
straight.
them. Gonna make me take notes. I'm gonna do it my way. Make this like a fantasy dream book looking thing.
Yeah.
You should put a little butterfly on it. Maybe some
Well,
pink
I got
tassels.
like a sheet of stickers that have like doggos on it and stuff, but I can't find it. Yeah, so
I'm
no
sorry, bro.
beagles. I hope there's some beagles on it. I can't remember.
How is it going with Wilma, your fairly new dog?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone pretty good. She's getting well, she's getting a lot smarter. She's figuring us out just as we're figuring her out and stuff as well. She's still not a peep from her. She doesn't make that much noise.
That's
She wouldn't
good.
be much of a hunting dog if she made a lot of noise, though, would she?
Yeah, Is that true? Yeah, I guess they got to be slick. Never thought about that. That hunting dogs
Yeah,
kind of have to be slick because usually, like hounds, they're loud as fuck. They're like sniffing the ground and woof woof woof, and they let you know shits. But like, I guess beagles are kind of quiet hunting
she
dogs.
makes a kind of snorting sound when she's like got her face in the grass and just go.
My dog used to sneeze at me when he was like talking shit. Like if I was like, "Oh, you want a treat? Oh, I don't have one." Just fucking with him or whatever, he'd be like, and just sneeze at me and be like, "Bitch," and I'm like, "I like you, buddy." It's pretty
Yeah,
funny. So
she's giving me a look because we took her to the vet for a health checkup. She's fine, but new pet,
sure,
you know. But she's 15 kilos. I don't know what it is in pounds, man. I'm sorry. You do that in your own time. And so she needs to be about 14. So she's just a tiny bit chubby. No big deal. We've had her for about a month. So, yeah, pretty good. She hasn't gained weight. But we decided, like, instead of giving her the whole stick of treat, maybe just give her half.
Mhm.
So make him last a little longer too. But we can give her the same amount of treats, but, like, obviously less volume. You give her one like that. And then she just looks at you when she snaps it in her mouth and it's like, the fuck? Where's the rest of it? I'm not stupid. That's fucking less food.
I like dogs are very responsive to conditioning as well. So you can teach a dog to do just about anything, and it's fun to just I don't know, just the interactions. My dog used to hide when I'd run the bath water because he's like one of the fucking weirdest dogs ever. Didn't like water. Didn't want anything to do with it. Is it raining outside? Not going. That kind of thing. It's like just hated water. And so I start running the bath and I just find him behind a door. And I'm like, what you doing back there? And I love the thing where you catch a dog doing something and they play it off. And they're like, well, I was sniffing back here. I was back here. Look,
It's very important.
no.
I'm sniffing this, and then you look at the patch they're sniffing. It's like
Yeah.
barren. It's nothing there.
And
Tumbleweed goes past. It's fucking barren. What are you sniffing there? It's concrete. You sniffed that bit yesterday.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, like Charity and I, if we're both walking, we'll have a bit of a chat, but we're just like, it's podcast time because it's just like she's gonna stop and sniff and
Sure.
all this kind of
That's
stuff.
fun. You got to explore the world with the dog. Somebody comes over, they got to get inspected by the dog before they can, pass the threshold. That shit's important.
You definitely see more pets walking
Oh,
a
now
dog
that you
around as
have one,
well.
yeah.
Not just other dogs, because well, you walk a dog past, yap yap yap. But not long after we got Wilma, just down the street, just down there, fucking brown fenced house, motherfucking house. Walking past it, and it's like they're planks, like long bits of wood like that, but there's kind of gaps in the fence, and it's high. It's brown. Fucking brown fence. Looks like shit. I'm just ragging on the house now. Anyway, walking Wilma past, and she stops to sniff, and that's fine. Anyway, we see a little head poke out, little black head, and I'm like, oh, obviously that's just fucking like some little dog that can't get through. It wasn't a little dog, and it could get through.
Oh,
It was
geez.
a black cat, and if you've ever seen a fucking old cartoon where like animals are fighting, and it's like a cloud, and there's like a thing up here, and it's like, so this cat's like on Wilma's back, and
Oh,
Wilma's just like,
no.
arr, arr, arr. We don't know what to do. I'm trying to get the cat off. Cat gets off, then pounces back on. And it wasn't until after that Charity and I talked about the situation where we both admitted to each other that like we had a fleeting thought of, well, will we have to drop punt this fucking cat? We didn't. Nothing like that was, but we had that fleeting thought of like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to kick this cat off the dock. Anyway, we're freaked out because it's the first time anything like this has happened to us. The cat fucking fucks off, and Wilma, like nothing's ever happened, just keeps pulling on the lead and just keeps going with the walk. No, fine.
Dogs are not emotional like cats are. You know, that would like devastate a cat for the next week. You know, cats are just so dramatic, and dogs aren't like that. They forget about it. Then you know, now Wilma will remember that happened, but not till she's back over there again, and she'll be like, "Oh, is that place where that happened? All right, I guess we're gonna scrap. Come on, you know." Dogs like scrapping.
There's this kind of small concrete alley between the streets around the corner from our house, and if we walk Wilma through that, she'll kind of just run through it because it's all concrete and there's nothing to smell every time.
I mean, something happened there, you know, a long time ago. I don't know. Maybe a Highlander had a fight there. And
maybe it's because I'm not sober, but every time she's like sniffing at this old tree and it's like anything and sniffing for ages, my brain wanders and wonders like how many generations of dogs have pissed and shat on this damn tree.
That's what Wilma's like learning about.
Sniffing the history.
Like, the history of this tree. Like, my God, maybe Wilma's great grandfather pissed on that tree. You don't know, you know. I mean, that might be the annals of the tree are encapsulated in the smell. You know,
the history of this tree from the dog's perspective, and it's like all these dogs and it's all this history from the tree's perspective is just endless supply of like dogs just pissing and shitting on it. And, it's getting sniffed.
Well, speaking of trees, I had something interesting happen the other day. Well, I went and collected maple sap at this like place up the street that's a nature preserve, but it's like private property. And it's a little weird. You know, it's like one of those places where you go and everyone's a volunteer and they have like a house that the person who started the place used to live in. It's like a fucking museum to them. And it's like, this is a cult, maybe. You know? But it's an awesome place. And they have fantastic trees. And I was up there and I noticed something I'd never really noticed before. Is that there's a bunch of trees that didn't lose their leaves. Now, we have 4 seasons here, right, in Ohio, and sometimes we have 20 seasons, honestly. And every year, the leaves on every tree except pine trees usually fall off. And I was like, what the fuck? I was kind of surprised by that, and I started to notice, just like you see other pets, you know, everywhere, I was starting to notice that lots of trees didn't lose their leaves this year. And so I'm like, what is happening? Is this some kind of crazy, thing? And so I found out, it turns out that many trees don't lose their leaves, especially this particular type of tree, species of oak and beech trees. And I really like learning shit like that, but it's like, you get older and you notice stuff like that. And I would have walked right past those trees just 2 years ago and not even looked at them. And for some reason lately, I've really enjoyed looking at nature and trees, and I kind of notice more shit like that every year. Getting old.
I've already walked past Brown House a few times, no problems. Walk past there. Get Wilma though. Walk past there with a dog. Wow.
Do you think that anyone from House of Torture is that the House of Torture, the brown house? You can't see it. You know what I mean? It's got the fence. It's up too high. I mean, I don't know.
On the T-shirt, it looks like some kind of mansion-y double-story house thing that straight out of an Italian horror flick. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're lying to me, because it is the House of Torture.
I mean, their cat would attack you if your dog specifically. I don't know. That's pretty.
Do they have pets?
So I'm thinking, they have a
That's Yujiro, right?
Yeah, Yujiro's an aquarium guy. He's got all the aquarium shit, and he keeps cleaning the aquarium with like regular cleaner, and the fish keep dying, and he just doesn't understand it. He can't get the balance right,
He's the guy who won't even put on special jorts for Wrestle Kingdom. He's just same old plastic jorts. Oh, I'm in a new faction. I'll just put a new patch on the same old jorts. Then how's that sound? It might be cheaper for me to make you completely new. No. I've got history with these jorts. Got to be the same ones.
These are my fishing jorts, but fishing to him is cleaning the aquariums,
Yeah.
So, and
that's amazing.
It's like overly complicated tubing system that really just dumps water out of it, and he can't figure out why. It's like he's like, keep losing water for some reason.
It's the kind of guy who wants to be an expert on the subject, but he's just he'll never get it.
But he's got the money to buy all the shit. That's always the best. The guy's got all the money to buy all the shit, but he just doesn't know what he's doing. But God bless him.
People at the pet store love him. I mean, except for the ones that really like selling fish. Like now they hate him because on the fish die.
I have another tree story. So you mentioned, how many dogs have peed on this tree right over the ages, and I mean the tree could be hundreds of years old.
Is that how it gets its rings?
Can you see in the rings like a broken line? This is where a dog pissed on it 100 years ago. But there's in the little town I grew up in, there's the old high school, and it's built in 1910, old high school building, and my dad and fucking his dad all went to school there probably. And so I always like to just walk by there because there's this awesome tree, and it's a sycamore tree, which they're white and they're really creepy looking. Twin Peaks has the sycamores around Glastonbury Grove or whatever, and so it's the same kind of thing. But this thing is huge, and it's probably 200 years old. I mean, it's massive. And I always think to myself, how many kids after school were meet me at the sycamore tree, you know what I mean? It's right by the fucking school, and it's a clear landmark. And every time I kind of walk up and touch it, not only do I smell the piss of every dog, but I also think about the humans that have met there. And I don't know, maybe my grandpa met my grandma there after school or some shit. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Maybe it was that Star Trek writer as well. Yeah.
Oh, John. Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Oh, were there any heart engravings with L loves C or whatever, anything like that?
Yeah, there's one on there, and it says A, plus Tai Chi forever, and it's A is me. That's me.
Oh, you did that. Right. That's why you've been going back to the trees. I got to add to my Tai Chi carving. This is going to be fit for the Holy Emperor, so right.
It used to say Jay White, but I crossed it out and put Tai Chi there.
So. See, yeah. It sucks when a wrestler goes to a place you have no interest in watching it, doesn't it? Doesn't matter where it is. You just yeah.
Is what it is. Something like wrestling related we could talk about though
Ooh.
is that how okay, so one of the awesome things about New Japan is they give their wrestlers time off. Like right now, I know they're doing some house shows and shit like that, but Fantasticamania and like this time gives the guys a couple weeks off to get healthy and come back. And man, it's really helpful and it's really smart. Wrestling doesn't need an off season. It just needs breaks every once in a while for the guys who are in there killing each other. That seems simple to me.
Yeah, and Fantastic Mania, what is that? All tag matches and stuff anyway, isn't it? Probably.
Well, except for one, Rocky Romero versus Volador.
I did hear
That was
Hichihiro is going to wrestle Tanahashi for that title.
Okay.
And that is either going to happen or has already probably happened on those shows we didn't watch. Yeah, so I'm betting Tanahashi won, but it's probably a good match.
Probs. Isn't it weird how like this will happen with wrestlers, and it happens all the time, and like at least once a year, there's some guy that you never fucking heard of, and all of a sudden he's everywhere.
Hichihiro.
Yeah.
I felt like I talked like I liked it. We actually did last year's Fantastic Mania, sort of, and I mentioned that I liked this Hichihiro guy, and now here we are. He's turned up on Dynamite. He's turned up fucking on New Japan a couple of times. I'm like, I like him.
Yeah,
he's good.
That's cool. I mean, it's like, where is Pirate Guy? I mean, I'm not watching Fantastic Mania.
What was his name? Zanzibar or whatever?
Zanzibar Junior. Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Zanzibar. You're right.
Right. You're not going to tell me, even if you do remember.
It's Z Guy. I don't know. What about what was okay, remember Tiny Lister or whatever, Zeus in WWF, right? Back in the day, Zeus, that dude was in WCW. They brought him in for like some huge cage match, one of those like awful 3-story cage matches or some shit. And they called him, his name in WCW was Z Gangsta.
Oh yeah.
He had a fucking Z in his head. Man, that guy was
the funniest thing is about those triple story fucking cage matches is it's because right, they start in the ring, everything's fine. They get up to the first level, everything's sort of fine. Then they start getting higher, and then the wrestling is just like, fuck, am I going to fall over? Fuck, just give me a headlock here. Am I going to fall? No, yeah. And it's just them constantly looking to see if they're fucking going to fall over or something. Because it's like that's fucking high up. You don't.
Oh yeah,
be wrestling
be careful.
High stuff. Like
it's like when two guys are on a ladder facing each other, and they do the thing like that, but they're like locked. They're left-handed.
Oh yeah.
Locked.
Or they've got like their arm wrapped around a rung on the thing, and they're using
It always looks terrible.
Which wrestlers are scared of heights and which ones aren't? Could play that game the next time you watch a ladder match because you can you'll tell. Holding on for dear life, terrified. Willing to jump off the top of it, he doesn't care about heights.
But is it their character that's terrified or them? We'll never know.
In a situation like that, it's definitely there. Yeah. Yeah. You want to be in a good gimmick match too, but still, how do you train for those? I want to go to ladder class. Is there a ladder class?
No. That's why everybody falls off of them. They can't climb them. They need to start that. It's like I always joke that they don't teach you how to hit somebody with a chair in wrestling school. And it's like, well, maybe they should, Seems like a good idea if we're going to be hitting each other with chairs or climbing ladders, that maybe we should learn how to do it before we're in front of a crowd.
There's a way of climbing ladders that isn't just like one rung or, stop. You just done one wrong. Shh, I'm puffed. Another rung. Fuck, this is fucking exhausting.
The guy that is going up to stop the guy from going up to the top, that dude scurries right up. But then later in the match, he's like, oh, fuck.
That's right.
Let me check this. Check it a little bit. Is that straight? Is that straight? Is it open all the way? Oh, well, is it up there? Yeah. Should I go get it? Okay. So they do all that shit.
It's wrestling logic, isn't it? It's like,
yes, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I like
so
it laughing at that. So yes. Oh, it's just like I'm just remembering Gabe Kidd's like kind of slapstick spot, which wasn't quite like bang on target. And
I mean,
just Jeff Cobb's just like, oh,
well, yeah. he didn't want to die. That was too fast with the ladder.
Remember that period we had with Jeff Cobb where it was obvious he didn't want to take corner bumps or railing bumps.
He still doesn't like doing that. So.
He still doesn't like it, does he?
Nope. I don't think he ever takes people to the outside. I mean, it's like he's the one getting taken out there. It's because it's like, oh, I don't want to do it. Because I mean, dude, those guardrail bumps probably suck, especially when you do the thing like Show or Watto do, where they go sideways in the air and just go right into it and then fall on their face, and it's like, damn, bro, way to sell. Love it.
See, he can kind of get away with it too, being the size he is. Like, I'm going to Irish whip you into this railing. Does the big man, you will not move me. I'm immovable, obviously, because I'm bigger than you. That's not happening. And then just do it to the other guy. But yeah, he doesn't like those spots, does he?
Hey, I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. likes that shit either. You know what I mean? He kind of is like, let's stay in this ring over here. He'll do it, but I don't know. It's like guys like Watto and Desperado go fucking chest first into it. And if you're a Japanese wrestler in New Japan, you got to commit to the guardrail bumps. You know who takes awesome guardrail bumps is Shota Umino. Tremendous. Yep. He's good at it.
It's his hobby. Yeah. Look at me, Dad. Look at me, Dad.
The video that was out online of Shota Umino bringing a birthday cake and singing happy birthday to Red Shoes Uno was fucking hilarious, because Uno looks like it's after that cage match or something, and he's just backstage like they just tore the ring down and he wants to die. And here comes Shota Umino with the cake, happy birthday, and he's just like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah, fuck off.
Oh man, very funny.
Yeah, and adorable as well. Like, his dad was obviously exhausted. Now I want Shota Umino to have his birthday, and he's bleeding. He's got blood all over his face. He's got welts on his back or something. Happy birthday.
House of Torture beat the fuck out of him, threw him down the stairs. And Uno's like, I'm going to allow it. It's your birthday, bitch. I swear,
I think we're the only two people. We can't be, because they feel over. But we're the only ones that, I guess, in a podcast say, House of Torture, they are good.
I don't know. I don't listen to the other podcasts. Maybe they love them. I just know.
I don't want copy, but just the vibe I get online is just like, oh, fuck, again. But
well, I don't know. There's not much of a vibe online anymore, period, about
that's
on Twitter.
Right. At least this fucking ghost town. Speaking of tumbleweeds.
Oh, that's so weird. I don't know. It's like something that's been... I still tweet all the time, but there's not much back and forth with anybody. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the way it is. I don't know why.
Well, I used to miss posts by people because, different countries people post at different times. Now, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. In like 5 seconds, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
yep, that's the tweetie over with. All right, see you tomorrow.
But it is what it is. I mean, it'll die. It's still dying a slow death, and eventually we'll move on to the other hip new thing, or we'll just maybe reclaim that part of our life. And
this is Elon Musk is so dumb, man. Like some motherfuckers are always trying to roller skate uphill. There you go. That's a bit of blade there. He's falling upwards like the whole fucking time. This motherfucker, like, get out of here.
Yeah. He's roller skating uphill, but the hill's made out of people. So,
and I'm still going to use that stupid platform to, advertise this very podcast.
Yeah, we are hypocrites, but I mean, hey, It's like nobody said we couldn't be hypocrites.
No.
Who said that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I watched a TV show and it was shockingly good, and I want to tell you about it.
All right.
And the reason, like, so you have never watched The Orville, is that correct?
No.
Okay. Well, it's awesome. And it's tremendous show. And I do not like Family Guy. So like the Seth MacFarlane guy, I'm kind of like,
That's
don't
why I
really
haven't
like.
watched it. Yeah.
But that show is fantastic. The characters
Okay.
are awesome. So he made another TV show, and it's like a live action TV show with a CGI teddy bear. It's like the Ted movie, right? It's that,
Okay.
but it's a sitcom with no laugh track. All right. And at first you're like, this is off. Something's weird. But I don't like shows with laugh tracks anyway. I like refuse to watch them. So unless it's Mr. Show or Kids in the Hall, then it's okay. But you're watching it and the first episode's just okay. But then the second episode's very good. And it has a bunch of the people from the Orville in it. It's fantastic. It was tremendous. It's like it's an easy light watch. You watch it and go, that's good. And you move on, you know what I mean? But I was like, this is probably going to be terrible. Pretty good show. I really liked it. It's funny.
Does it have Mark Wahlberg in it?
No, it's like the
then I'm
prequel.
interested.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
I don't like him.
The little kid is funny, so that's fair. Say hello to your mother. How's it going? How's it going, Luke?
No.
I'm Mark Wahlberg. This is how I talk.
No.
Why do I talk like this all the time?
I'm a fucking inventor.
He was, when I was a kid, he was a rapper. And he rapped in his underwear. And people were like, bro, feel the sensation. What does it? Feel the vibrations? I don't know.
I remember feeling back in the day where I didn't know any better and I didn't realize that whenever someone did an adaptation of a video game, it was a guarantee that it was going to suck donkey balls. So Max Payne, I'm like, oh my God, I love that game. I fucking love that game. You're making the movie for it. And to this day, I can't stand Mila Kunis or Mark Wahlberg because they were both in that movie. And that movie fucking sucked.
Yeah. Universally panned. And that video game was like, it was the first like slow-mo kind of deal, right? You could slow time down and stuff. I remember playing it a little bit.
Dive around corners and stuff, yeah. I played all three of those. They're great. But yeah.
That's a good show. Yeah, that's a good game.
The voice actor died though. Oh, I just remembered that now. Oh, that's sad.
Oh, for Max Payne?
Yeah.
That's a shame. Have you ever played any of the Alan Wake games?
No, I can't play horror games.
Okay. Is that what, I guess that's the genre. People say the second or third one just came out and they're like, it's like Twin Peaks the game. That's what that's what they are saying about it. So I don't know. It piqued my interest, but if it's like a horror game where like that sounds too high speed for these old bones, you know. I hate survival games. Those suck.
You need reaction times and shit, and I'm just like, come on, man. I just want to chill out and just do this thing. Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm being chased by zombies, you know. It's like, or whatever. The zombie games where there's a million zombies are trying to eat you, and you're like, fuck. It's like, that's not a good time. It's not relaxing.
You know what sucks? Like when we play a game like that, and for us, we're just like, fucking run, get out of here, get out. Then you go watch a YouTube video, and then you see some fucking smart ass playing it, and he's doing things that you didn't even know were possible in the game, and the game's just like, it's so easy. Yeah. I can't do that anymore.
I mean, I grew up playing video games, but they were 8-bit, you know, and then 64-bit and 16-bit, right? So it's not like those weren't complicated games necessarily. Kids today grow up, you know, playing GTA 5, and so like, and whatever else that's Elden Ring or the Souls games, those are hard as fuck. And it's like, so like they're good at games intuitively. I know I'm making a generalization, but it is true. And in general over here.
Yeah, nah, I'm one of them wimps that like, oh, welcome to this game. Here's normal. Normal is the way this game should be played. Here's hard. Here's extra hard. I'm like, fuck all those. Where's stupid easy? Whereas I want to have fun and just not be bothered and just want to fucking chill out.
Some
That's the
games
mode
have
I
that.
want. Yeah, I
They
just
have
play the easy modes. I
it'll
don't even
say
care.
like you're interested in just experiencing the story. It'll say something like that, not
Hmm.
necessarily challenging gameplay, and you're like, I don't want to be
Like I
challenged.
played the first three Yakuza games, or Zero, Kiwami 1 and 2, on easy, and I could see that like if I was interested in it, here's all the button combos and stuff for all, and here's all the fighting styles you can learn. Here's the only fighting style in those games you need. Here's the button to pick up any nearby objects, beat them over the head with it. Done.
Equalizer.
And it's bikes, like rubbish bins, like motorbikes and stuff. Like you just hit them, beat them over the head with anything, and you're just like, well, I don't need to. I don't need to memorize this kind of karate thing. Like, get out of here.
So
There's
if
like
I was,
four modes or something. Like, I don't know. Like. I can't do fighting games either. Like Mortal Kombat and shit.
yeah, that's hard, too hard. What if I was going to start playing the Yakuza games, which I will do eventually? What one would you
Zero.
recommend? Yakuza Zero. Okay.
It's actually a prequel, so technically it's like where everything started. But that's where yeah, that's awesome. I spent hours playing that game. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I even did some of the goofy side quests and stuff. Even in Kiwami and Kiwami 2, which are remakes of the first two games. But yeah, it's goofy fun. Kiwami 2 has all the wrestlers in it and stuff. Like you got a bit of Kojima in there, Okada, Tenzan's in there, Naito's in there, Chono and Keiji Muto and Fujinami are in there as well as evil real estate developers that you have to defeat.
Is there like a secret skin that you can download to give Mr. Bread like just basically baguettes for arms
Oh,
and
I
like
wish.
big long baguettes for legs and
See, that's where they fucked up because now I want a goofy side quest in a Yakuza game where Kazuma has to go, beat people up at a bakery and get the special fucking baguette bread and bring it over to Satoshi Kojima. Then they beat some bad guys together. That'd be awesome. Give me that. Give me that mission.
okay. I
It's not
like
as
it.
it's a nice wholesome mission. It's not as weird as say, here's this guy in nappies, and you interact with this guy, and you're just like, why am I doing this quest? Because you want to see where the fucking quest with the nappy guy goes.
Because it's just goofy. Yeah, I've heard that game is very goofy with the side quests, and
Yeah.
I'm all for that. Sounds awesome.
Well, it's what I like about at least like the ones I played. So you can go into arcades, and in the arcades they have like Outrun and a couple other old arcade games, and you can play the full actual games within the game. So I kind of like that too. The maps are small, but they generally tend to be the same city block in most of the games, but they're jam packed full of like characters and locations and shit. So it's like it's as big as a pool, but it's a pretty deep pool rather
That's
than
cool.
a shallow ocean that some of these like massive open world games can be.
I like some of those. I like it. The more boring, the better. The more repetitive, the better. I love it. So
I'm starting to think you might like some Starfield then.
yeah, I might. I am gonna give it some time before I buy that game. It'll just because I don't care about like playing games right when they come out. I don't give a fuck. I'll just wait till they're less expensive and the verdict's out on whether I'm gonna like it or not. Because you know, I think it might be a little too boring, but maybe not. Maybe not.
That's been me the last few years. I've been playing lately. I've been playing the Arkham trilogy. Then I was playing like Knights of the Old Republic, old games, Saints Row 2. I like my older games. I'm playing Baldur's Gate at the moment, the original, not number 3
Okay.
that all the cool kids are playing, but the original one on the Switch. So yeah, that's nice. It's fun.
I have a question about Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
So there was a game that I used to play, and it was a Baldur's Gate game, but it's nothing like this new one, like the Baldur's Gate 3 that everybody loves. And they're like, oh, this is just like classic Baldur's Gate. And I'm like, not to me. So the Baldur's Gate game that I played was an action RPG, like Diablo or Champions of Norath,
Okay.
which Champions of Norath was awesome too. So I might have to Google it to find out what the difference is, because I remember they're like, oh, they're remaking it. They remade it, and I'm like, this isn't the game I played. It's like, I
You don't
know.
like conversations in games. It's just something I'm
No,
starting to learn.
no, I don't. Most of the time, this is sacrilege, but I don't give a fuck. It's my life, but I will most of the time have the volume almost to nothing on any game I'm playing,
Chill that
because
game.
I have to have 3 other things going on, or I don't feel relaxed. So
You do have some ADHD in you, Mr. Andy. That is for sure,
right.
because up above me is like a book that's like partially open and just left face down. There's a TV there. I've got another screen here. If I wasn't doing this podcast, I'd have the fan on, have like the TV going, and these 2 screens. I'd be contemplating what kind of game to play. I'd be checking my phone and checking my chess moves and all of this stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, while you were talking, I was listening to you listing the
Thanks, man.
things that were around you, but I also had to have something else going on, of
Yes.
course. So I looked up the game. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was the
Okay.
one I played, and it was awesome. It was like too short. It was like so good. And it was like, oh, it's over. Fuck. But I really like that game.
Okay. So the other games are more traditional RPGs. That's a
Yeah.
shame. I feel like you'd like a game like Disco Elysium, though. Like, I feel like you'd get a kick of that. And that's all voice acted now, so
Yes.
you wouldn't have to read it. You could listen to it. But it's not a chill out game. It's a story game. You'd have to pay attention to it.
I owned it for a while, and I gave it 2 or 3 tries, but I just got bored really quick. And that's what will happen is I watch it, or I'm playing the game and I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on, but it's just not going to happen, man. I got to
Let
have
me
something
shoot
else.
something.
Yeah, or
I
just
get
let
that.
me occupy my hands. I often, will think, well, I don't want to watch a game. I want to play the game. You know what I mean? Let's get through this cutscene. I'm done watching.
But
I
you
want to
choose.
participate.
But you choose what they say, and like different outcomes can happen.
I don't care. Chop people up with a sword. I did
This
like
one's second sword.
Cyberpunk. I did like Cyberpunk. I played that game. It was really good. But like, if I go on a message board about Cyberpunk, I don't know what the fuck people are talking about, because I didn't hear most of the dialogues.
Have you ever thought like maybe put on the subtitles, Mr. Guy?
Oh, they're on.
Oh, right.
But
But you don't read games, so like
I mean,
you don't read
sometimes.
that.
I mean, I always have subtitles on, always, for everything.
Don't you at least
So
want to know what the story is?
I got the gist.
You were going to love Yakuza because I mean you can change the settings, but generally they're in Japanese, and you can just put the subtitles on, and they're subtitled. You could probably just turn that off and just not have any idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. The art style of those games reminds me of the Way of the Samurai, like those games. And goddamn, dude, those games, if you have the opportunity to play those are 1 and 2. I think the third one's pretty good too, but it's not quite as good. But it's a role-playing samurai game where there's like 20 endings, and all these like events happen in this little area, and you go to the different places, which is every game, but it's the same story every time, but the way that you participate and which groups you participate changes the ending and changes everything that happens. And it's fantastic. Those games, the fighting system on it is very similar to Ghost of Tsushima, which came out years and years later. And it's like the storylines are that's a game where I played it a million times, and that's a game I'm paying attention, when I'm watching. But the reason I was thinking about it, though, other than the art style, it's kind of fun though, because it doesn't have voice acting. It's just like they go, huh? Or something like that. And then a little like thought bubble comes up, and I get to read it. And I really like that. Like, to me, that gets me locked in for some reason. Guy going, just a bubble.
I remember Max Payne doing the they couldn't afford to do like extensive cutscenes, so a lot of the time it was just like a comic book and with panels and everything like that.
I
And
like that.
that's the first game, I think. I don't think the other two did it, but the first one definitely. So we can't do all these cutscenes. So yeah, story panels like a comic book was great.
I like that. Sometimes it's like limitations are where the like creativity comes from, and I don't know, that's pretty cool, especially in games when stuff like that shows up.
So especially about speaking of limitations, like there's this funny video that's just been released on YouTube. It's by Red Letter Media. They love Next Generation, so it's from a place of love. But they've done a video where they mention like, all right, when you're watching these on VHS or maybe even normal DVD, hell, back when they first aired, it's fine. It's Star Trek. You just watch it. There's nothing wrong. These Blu-rays, all right, here's the mark where they stand right here. Right, this plug socket for the touch screen, this touch screen console, we can see that it's not plugged in. There's a dent in that. The carpet's dirty. The carpet's dirty. The carpet's dirty. That's like a 30-minute video just poking like all these. It's done from a place of love because they fucking adore that show. But it was just interesting, like, and the stop reflections from the touch screens, you could see like they've put like fucking tape and stuff here, there, and everywhere, and you see someone walking into a room, and then like the door doesn't properly close, and they're supposed to be automatic doors, but they're not. So the door's not a thing, and then it cuts back, and I was like, yep. And yeah, just little shit like that. It was funny. So like these things only turned up because they cleaned up the picture quality so much that all the limitations that were hidden back then are now fully visible for anyone with a watchful eye, and has obviously watched these a billion times. So yeah,
You're talking about, just for the listeners to clarify, you're talking
Next
about
Generation.
Yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Red Letter Media picked out all these things. I saw that video as well. It's a new Mr. Plinkett video.
Yes, that's right.
Most popular videos, and those are very, very fun. They kind of ruin your brain though, those videos, like because they make you like hypercritical of everything, and you're like, I am so smart because of this video I watched on the internet about Star Wars and shit. But I watched it, and of all those mistakes, I had noticed none of them.
Never.
And I'm surprised that no one really, I've never heard anybody talk about the door numbers being wrong all the time on the doors, because they just reused sets, and they had these little stickers, and sometimes they just didn't put the same sticker on. But there was one like mistake that I knew about. And it's like one of them, like when you see it, they talk about it in the video, but I mean, I've known about it a long time, is where Captain Picard is playing the flute, and they just got some other dude's hands in there playing the flute for some reason. And it is just terrible. It's like, it looks so bad. And
it's awful. Yeah.
I think that's one of those legendary ones. The guy that used to run the Shut Up Wesley podcast, he's the one that told me about that. And
is that the Inner Light? That's a shame too. It's a shame to notice something so goofy in an episode that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a really heavy episode, and like the part where he's playing the flute is supposed to be this really emotional moment, and like you could see Patrick Stewart like just about to like laugh. It looks really goofy.
Now, was it done in the way where like, when someone's like, all right, to this task, put your hand behind your back, and then someone else puts their arms through the gaps, and then just plays the recorder?
Right. It was probably that. They speculate in the Red Letter Media video that he was like, basically reverse 69ing with Picard, which I don't know. It's a goofy scene if you watch it, with any eyes, but that's the only one that I knew about. I didn't know about any of the other stuff. Boom mics obviously show up in 90s television all the time. It's a I don't know why it was so hard to keep the boom out of shots, but I guess you want the volume to be consistent, so it's got to be, I don't know.
It's not just that. It's just, hey, we're going to make 26 of these. Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why stickers get misplaced like that, and that's why the boom is like, come on. We've got fucking 12 more of these to do. We're on half the year. Hurry up. There's no breaks. Holy shit. That's probably why there's all those fuck ups.
Yeah, that's why, you're right.
That's what's charming about old Doctor Who. I've got an actual book where one of the parts for each episode is just a detail of all the goofs and fluffs. And the set's wobbled here. The doctor here suggests you keep someone warm if they've got a cold. Shit like that. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
That's actually something I have on my list of things to talk about. I was going to ask you if you could boil down Doctor Who, for me, who doesn't really, I'm not really interested in it that much. What is something about it that would make me interested?
Well, you can pretty much pick any kind of sci-fi trope. There's a Doctor Who story about it. It's kind of like Star Trek, really, in that regard. I don't know. It's not a show that you necessarily need to watch from the start, or necessarily all of it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's almost impossible to do that anyway. Like, especially when I got into Doctor Who, the show had been over. It's been back for ages now, but the show had been over, and I had either whatever reruns that they played, whatever the video stores had, if they had any, and the VHS tapes for an episode were like $30 each. So I didn't have many of those.
Jesus.
So you watched whatever you could. So no one has really experienced Doctor Who in proper perfect order. It's all been a bit bouncing around. So especially the old stuff. It's easy just to be like, I like the sound of that story. I'll give it a look. But it's just about this alien dude who's, yes, always sounds British or English or whatever, traveling around in he's got it's a police box, right? And
I've seen the TARDIS. I'm familiar with that. Yeah. Hey.
There you go. It's supposed to have a chameleon circuit, so it disguises itself like wherever it lands. But his is broken, and he never fixed it. So you can go anywhere. But the conceit is, he can go anywhere in space and time, or she, depends, and that opens it up to pretty much every kind of story you can imagine. You can tell anything. You can go anywhere in space and time, so you can do anything.
Are the seasons supposed to be like? Is it in the story? Do the characters know that there's always a new Doctor, or is that just like a conceit that you just kind of like fluff by or whatever?
Well, some of them seem change and stuff, but yeah, like over time it becomes a conceit. Like the first time they do it, it's because like the original actors like old and not very well and can't keep up with the schedule.
Of course, yeah.
And so they kind of phase him out and replace him. And then the second guy was just like, look, I said 3 years. I did 3 years. Bye. And so it kind of became a thing over time.
But in the story, the characters know that that one
not
Doctor.
Always.
Okay. Well, all right.
Not always. I guess it depends on what era you're watching it in. Like if you haven't seen him regenerate or her, they might not necessarily tell you that they can. So,
regenerate. So there is a story thing.
There's a term for it, yeah.
Okay, all right. So it is part of the show. All right, I just always wondered that because I hadn't known. But so how should I start watching Doctor Who if I were to start watching Doctor Who?
All right. Well, coming to me is the first good step. No, seriously, because
admitting I have a problem.
Yeah. Well, we'll just be like, all right, Mr. Guy, recommend me an episode of Next Gen. You're not going to give me the one with the Irish people, Irish fucking farmers on it.
That episode is tremendous, man.
I knew you'd say that. What's the African racist one from season 1.
Oh yeah, that one's no good.
All right, there we go.
I mean,
You
there's
know,
some bad episodes of that show for sure.
I don't want, so I'm not going to obviously going to give you the Doctor Who equivalent of something like that.
I wouldn't be mad, but I mean, I get the racist one. I get that would be like, what the fuck is this?
Also, it depends. I like the 60s black and white stuff because it feels like a lot of it can feel like a 60s B movie sometimes, and I like those. 70s stuff is probably where it was the most popular, at least for the old series, and there's a lot of good shit in there. I'm partial to the 80s because I got to see most of the 80s Doctor Who in consecutive order, like the 5th Doctor. He was the first Doctor I saw from start to finish. Everything else, I just saw at random, whatever I get my hands on, thanks to early morning repeats. So he's kind of my jam. So I don't know. It depends on what kind of tone, what kind of style you want. It's crazy, and that's just the classic stuff. I'm not as I haven't rewatched the new stuff as much as the old stuff because you rewatch stuff you grew up with, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Give me a sci-fi trope or something. Like, what do you like?
Time travel.
Oh, you fucking.
I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. I don't really want you to recommend me something based on that. I'd rather just hear which season should I start with. But I mean, if you need to think about it, that's no problem. You can get back.
It's really hard. It's like it's not a classic show isn't necessarily a show where you go, right, I'm going to watch season 13. I mean, you can, but usually people will just be like, I'm going to watch this story from this season. And it's fine. They're often quite standalone, so you can just jump in and out and dip in and see which Doctor you like, and all that kind of stuff. There's some also really bad, trashy Doctor Who that I absolutely love and rewatch ad nauseum. Same with crappy Star Trek. There's some really bad TOS episodes that oh my god,
Spock's brain.
Oh my god,
by far the most absurd
blast.
episode.
That's so fucking dumb.
We've
got this smart sci-fi show that's supposed to be progressive. Stay tuned for Spock's brain.
Yeah, well, that show too. One problem with TOS, and we're talking about the original series of Star Trek. It's like some of those episodes are bad and not entertaining, and that's a problem. They're like season 3. There's a bunch of episodes where it's like, not only is this bad, but it's not even like goofy. It's just terrible. It's a shame.
Yeah. Well, by then, the networks and shit didn't really give a shit about it. Cut its funding and shit too, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. When they cancelled Doctor Who in 1989, apparently at the time of cancellation, it was making more than twice the amount it cost to make due to merchandising and overseas sales of the episodes. So this fucking show's making money, and because the powers that be kind of wanted it to go away.
Yeah, I was gonna say the network they were haters,
so they weren't even advertising it, and they were still like making double their money. So
conspiracy.
So guess what they do now with Doctor Who? Yeah, they fucking push it because you'd be stupid not to. Makes you money, brings attention to your channel. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Well,
it's true. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll jump into some Doctor Who. I'm, watching a couple shows now. Tokyo Vice is back. It's a tremendous show. If you've never seen it, the first season's just awesome. Second season's been okay so far. It's still good. The new season of True Detective.
Oh, there's a new one?
Nope.
I kind of watched episode 2 of season 1 and never watched another episode of it. Obviously, I watched the first season. Like,
first season's awesome.
Yeah, then I watched the first episode of season 2, and I've never watched another episode of True. That was the end of my.
I fucking love season 2. Season 2 is awesome too. It was just different than the first season, but this season was like, I don't know it was really bad.
Wow.
The ending was like, what in the fuck is this? It's some bullshit. There's some good moments, of course, and some tremendous acting, but the story is just like, like the way it wraps up, it's like, I don't know. It's bad. But did you see Madam Web yet?
I haven't. It's all related to the whole TAFE thing because I was supposed to see it last Friday with my sister because we both wanted to see that cheesy bad movie. And then, apparently I didn't start the following week. I started the day before. So, plans had to be moved around. I think this weekend I've heard it's fucking shit and I can't wait.
The word is out. This is like, the best So Bad It's Good movie in quite some time.
Cool.
John has been, my buddy John from the Road Home from Wrestling podcast. He has been in Australia actually the past couple weeks on vacation. He was nowhere near you, I don't think. I think he may have been in Melbourne, but it was like for a few hours or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But when he gets back, we're going to go see Madam Web. We got to. I mean, at this point, hopefully it's still in the theaters because he's coming back like in a couple days. Hopefully it's still there.
Oh, I think it will. You got to give them time to recoup as much money as they can.
So they did a little trick with that movie too. They like released it on Valentine's Day, which for when there's a holiday next to a weekend, it gets grouped in with the like box office report from that weekend. So they got like 4 or 5 days instead of like a 3-day, 2-day weekend thing. And I'm not sure exactly how that works, but they did a little trick to get as much money as possible and released it on Valentine's Day, so that it would be like maybe something that ladies would want to go see. So this not bad idea.
Well,
but apparently bad movie.
I don't know. I'd have put more. Wouldn't they want more dudes in it then? I don't know. There's lots of ladies. That's looks. I see the trailer. I'm like, that's eye candy for me. Like, I'm not gonna see that. I don't know. What do I know?
I don't know. I will see it.
Nothing.
I just don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater or not. It just depends on John. It's all up to him. Everything's up to John. Everything, always.
He makes this. He calls the shots. Oh my god. He's going to make you sign the petition for a 3rd season of Heels. But,
oh man, Jesus Christ! There's a Heels message board, Heels TV show, and so of course I'm a member of that. And like somebody had posted a story about how they saw Stephen Amell at some like convention, and Stephen Amell told him that he's still working on season 3 and maybe it's going to get picked up. But then, and so everyone's like, oh dude, totally, this is 100% real, we're going to get season 3, which is just so funny that there's fans of that show, first of all, just at all, and that are like genuinely like it. It's like, how? That's weird. But also that people are taking this just some guy on the internet report seriously. And then like a few days later, it turns out he got cast in some new TV show and everyone's devastated because this means he's not going to get to make Heels. I love like internet subculture like that. I love those little like stupid things where it's like, it's just fun to watch people freak out over nothing.
You're not even a fan and you're at that forum. You're like Helena Bonham Carter in fucking Fight Club. You go on to fucking groups even though you don't have the cancers or you're not a drug addict or something. You just go on there to sit in.
Yeah.
You see what happens. Oh my god. Hey, all right, question. Do you know who Douglas Adams is?
Yeah. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and there's another last restaurant at the end of the universe or some shit. I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's good.
Did you like it? All right, cool. He script edited, which means he show ran a season of Doctor Who in the late 70s. It's called season 17. Don't worry about the first story. I'd just say City of Death. City of Death.
So that's your recommendation.
Yeah, you even got Julian Glover as the villain. If you Google him and see his face, you'll know who he is. It's awesome. Yeah. And it's co-written by him, Mr. Douglas Adams. Actually, his humor and fingerprints are all over that season. So, yeah.
I like that. That kind of goofy, witty kind of, I don't know, it's like snarky, but it's very like insightful, like all his jokes kind of are a shot at something about society. I like that.
Yeah. So I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's not the most popular season, but there's some, because it's maybe it's a bit more humorous than other seasons. Well, Douglas Adams is a script editor, so yeah, it's going to be. And other seasons are usually a bit more sci-fi and stuff. So yeah, City of Death.
Word.
That's where I'd start. If you don't like that, and that's considered a classic. So if you don't like it, it's probably not for you.
Okay, I like that. The litmus test show. It's like the one, that you watch, and if you don't like this, probably don't really like this entire thing, but
maybe it's 60 years old, so there must be something in there that maybe you like. Maybe one nugget. You'll like it more than Heels. I guarantee it. So
I like everything more than Heels.
I know.
I like throwing up more than watching Heels.
Oh my god,
it's terrible. That show. We had a lot of fun talking about it because it was just outrageous. It's aggressively bad in ways that are just, I don't understand. It's like, there's, my thoughts are out there. They're already on record.
It's fun to talk about bad stuff. There's only one problem with that. You have to either read, listen to, or watch said bad thing.
Yeah.
And that can be fucking torturous. Since the guy who's watched so many bad Bruce Willis movies, it fucking melted his mind.
Oh, dude. So last night, I was like, I'll watch a movie. Oh, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Lucky Number 11. I remember liking this. Woof. It's so bad. And it might be, like I was telling you this last night, it may be, one of the first Bruce Willis movies that are bad, first of all, that have him as I think he's the lead, the top billing, and he's fucking barely in it. It's like,
I bet you if I was to look at the poster of this movie, he's front and center in it as well.
Probably it's Josh Hartnett is the actual.
Oh, remember when he was the thing? Man,
yeah, he made
Betch has a better
movies.
chance of being a thing than him. Yeah, but he was a big thing for 2 years, and then suddenly it's just he dropped off the face of the earth. As far as I'm aware, he didn't do anything cancelable or anything. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he's just as bad.
Yeah.
So they make it look like on the cover, they make it look like it's a big cast of characters with, but the two people holding a gun pointing it at the person trying to buy the DVD is Bruce Willis and Josh Hartnett. They're the two, main characters, and that is not accurate. So.
Actually, I would say Josh Hartnett is exactly the kind of star that would be the B grade backup to Bruce Willis. So, normally in these movies, you got Bruce Willis, the star. He's barely in it, fucking thing. They all 90 minutes, so he's barely in it. But then you got the second guy, and it's always someone you kind of know, but believe it or not, Hayden Christensen's been in a couple of these as that character, in that role.
Okay. Yeah.
Devon Sawyer from Final Destination, that kind of level of, they're always the action hero guy that is really the action hero, even though the fucking front cover says, "Hey, Bruce Willis is in this. It's gonna be great." Awful.
Well, it was also something I was noticing about this movie is it's trying to be all cool and stylized, it's trying to be a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it's also trying to be a Guy Ritchie movie. It's do you remember those movies? This one's like that. That's what the cover makes it look like too, but it fails. And there's some shots that are cool, but then the dialogue will be so bad, and the way they every scene has a different little style to it, and it's just jarring. It's really bad. But I did I was kind of briefly looking. Josh Hartnett was in a million movies in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, and then he dropped off. But he was in Oppenheimer, so The Triumphant Return.
I didn't watch it.
I have not watched it either. I know I'm a terrible human being, but when something is ultra popular, it's like don't want to watch it. I don't know why.
I mean, like, I watched Barbie. No regrets there. But
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, I'm also not a huge. I don't blow smoke up Chris Nolan's ass like a lot of people seem to. I don't know.
Come on.
He's got some good movies, but he's got absolute stank shit gravy nuggets in there.
I don't know. I mean,
and he sucks at endings.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never considered that. I think I really enjoy his movies. I think that they're not all great, and some of them are kind of like they're all gimmicks. It's all based on a gimmick, but the way he explores it, I usually kind of dig or I don't dig. But I really like Memento. Like Memento was a formative movie for me when I was growing up, just because it was probably one of the first like artsy fartsy like underground kind of movies that I knew about, and was like, I would try to get everybody to watch it because it's such a fucking cool ass movie. I like that. Kind of makes me.
I haven't seen that since it came out. I should watch that again.
Dude,
see if it holds up.
So
but
cool.
I didn't like the ending to Inception, and I liked Interstellar until they went through the black hole thing, and I was just like, oh, all right, you lost me now. It was me through the library books, through the black hole the whole time. Fuck off. Movie's 10 years old. Get out of here if you haven't seen it.
That's one of those movies you watch it once, and I don't really need to go back and watch it again. I remember I watched it in the theater, and I can't remember who I saw it with, but I remember like hitting them on the leg at like an hour and 15 minutes when they finally got on the fucking spaceship, and I was like, "Fuck! For fuck's sake, they finally got in the spaceship!" It's like, they're gonna go to space, and I'm like, it's an hour into the movie. Can we go to space?
Here's something that would happen in Doctor Who all the time, Mr. Andy. The episode is called Planet of the Daleks. And it's a serial, so this story might have 6 episodes in it, right? 6 25-minute episodes. And it's called Planet of the Daleks. What happens? What's the episode 1 cliffhanger? The Daleks are here!
Oh.
Yeah, no shit. It's called Planet of the Daleks. I've waited 25 fucking minutes and they only just arrived. Now I've got to wait another week for them to fucking turn up properly. Yeah. So, nice one. They used to do that all the time. Sometimes they'd wisen up and they'd call this story Earth Shock, and it wouldn't know that one of his baddies was in it. Whoa, until like the cliffhanger bit. Yeah, sometimes it was just called. It had the villain's name in the title, and so you knew they were turning up. So why leave it to the cliffhanger?
But they always play it like a shock.
Yeah, like, oh, it's the master. Oh my god,
that's campy. I like it.
Yeah, it's very camp. If you like camp television, like Doctor Who is, old and new series, it's Camp Central. Yeah, you'll get lost out of it.
I can dig that.
Yeah. So about that wrestling, nothing's happened. Oh my god, it's kind of weird when it's a quiet week. What happened about the thing with the thing? We didn't watch it, but I'll tell you what, I do dislike the Disneys. I think that's been mentioned before, but sometimes the law of averages. They make enough stuff. Sometimes they'll make something that makes me excited.
Did you watch Andor finally?
No. I figured so much time has passed I'd have to rewatch the first 4 episodes, and that's like, I don't want to do that. But X-Men 97, like I used to love.
Oh yeah.
I've been rewatching it. Yeah, it's a cheesy cartoon from the 90s, but holds up, not bad. Holds up, not bad. The theme tune's awesome though.
Oh, that's all that matters. All-time great theme song.
I'm gonna watch the new one. But yeah,
I mean that's kind of my first and mainly only exposure really to X-Men, and I remember being fired up to watch that cartoon.
Oh my god, that theme tune is.
Well, you're watching cartoons, and for every Gummy Bears, you got a David the Gnome you got to sit through. You know what I mean? And it's like I remember there was something on before it that I didn't like. And so I remember being like, dude, what the fuck? And then this hits and you're like, yeah, Apocalypse or whatever. He's the bad guy. They're gonna get him, and the fucking giant robots are gonna get exploded and all kinds of shit. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm almost finished the first season. Yeah, I'm.
How many seasons are there?
5.
Really? Okay.
But there's like 80 episodes or something. I don't know. It's a lot for a cartoon, though.
Well, it's got a great pilot too. It's called Night of the Sentinels, I think, or something like that. And we're introduced to the X-Men by Dazzler, maybe
Jubilee.
Jubilee, that's what it is. Who kind of has this like, I don't know, her power
Sparkles.
is like, it's just like, and yeah, she shoots confetti out of her fingers or something. So New Japan should hire her. You know, she could do the confetti from now on and be the Phantom Corrigan Hall. But it's a great introductory episode because you get to kind of, that whatever Jubilee is like your surrogate to joining this bizarre thing, and I don't know. I remember she doesn't she walk by Beast and freaks out or something, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that shit's in the movies too. It's good.
I saw a couple memes. Someone posted a meme on my Facebook page because I was like, hey, I want to see this. That looks good. And apparently Rogue's ass is smaller in the new version. I'm like, oh my god, who cares? But yes, it was funny. If you read 90s comics or watched 90s animation and stuff, yeah, they overproportioned everything. So yeah, it was a bit like that. Oh, dude. And then, see, now they need to go that one step further because there was also a really gnarly Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s as well. So come on, give me more of that. The theme tune wasn't as good, but Spider-Man's my boy. So
now, one more thing before we move on from the X-Men. There was another big part of my brief X-Men fandom when I was a kid. That at the same time that cartoon was on, there was the fucking video game at the arcade where you could play as one of the people, and it was one of those if you got enough quarters, you can beat this game kind of games, and because it's just it's just a fighting game.
Punch them up, yeah.
It's like I don't even know what type of game that would be called, but they had the Simpsons game, beat 'em up. Yeah, there you go. Final Fight, it's like that, and I always love those kinds of games because you don't really require much skill. But you can, that game in particular, you could be Cyclops or whatever. I was always like Colossus, I think. I liked him the most. And Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler was one of my favorites. But there's an arcade that just opened like a mile away from me. And they got it. And I've already gone up there and beaten it once. It took me like $3 and I beat it. So.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's nice. Oh, my God. Every now and again, I don't see many of those pop up, but every now and again I'll spot the old Simpsons one.
Yeah,
and
they have that one too.
Yeah, and the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one will pop up sometimes too.
Such a great game. The art on those games is just so good.
Timeless.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. So, is there anything that you would like to chit chat about, Mr. Guy? Right.
I mean, there's always more stuff, but I think we did it, right? I mean,
we did the thing.
We did.
We have done the thing. I should have done it properly then. Hey, Andy, unless there's anything, I don't have to be professional.
I thought that's what you were doing, and I fucked it up. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I don't have to do any of that professional stuff. But just a last little reminder, because I know people don't listen to these Never Rubs as much, and they're stupid, but just a last reminder that might not happen this time because I don't have to do too many edits because my internet hasn't dropped. But you might often hear differences or see differences between the video and the audio sometimes with the podcast. There you go.
So
extra little nuggets of the non-stank variety.
Yeah, not stank nuggets. Hopefully, maybe little stanky ones might get in there sometimes. Right. I don't know. Some might refer to this entire episode as a stank nugget. That's not me.
No, it's not me either.
You, I bet you didn't even listen to it. Give us a chance to ramble stoned into your ears.
That's
right.
You know
what I'm saying? Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Sorry, a bit of J-Rock there. It's you remember that Trailer Park Boys? Anyway,
Yeah, man. J-Rock is
know what I'm saying?
Liquors and Whores, wasn't that? Or no, that's Bubbles' song. I think so.
So, oh yeah, there you go. I know how to finish episodes. Don't worry. In Adrian Paul, we trust. Duncan McLeod. There we go. That'll do it.
Yeah, we didn't even really talk about him that much, but we bookended. I mean, you bookended with Highlander, and I mean, bookended with Highlander